Nick Aldis hasn't wrestled in almost 3 years. Multiple respected insiders are now reporting that's about to change, and the man he's coming back for is the same one who choked him unconscious with the exact hold that ended John Cena's career. Welcome back to Wrestling Canva. Everybody's focused on what happens to Gunther after that attack. I think the more interesting question is what Aldis is bringing back with him. Because once you actually look at his history, this isn't some office executive stepping into a fight over his head. According to Dave Meltzer, Gunther's original path toward SummerSlam had nothing to do with Aldis at all. He was reportedly set to start a fresh feud with Royce Keys. That plan got completely scrapped after Gunther's backstage blow-up with Aldis at Night of Champions turned physical, forcing WWE to pivot the entire story in real time. That detail matters more than people realize. This isn't a storyline WWE scripted months in advance and planned to unveil on cue. It's one that got built out of genuine escalating tension, attack by attack, until the company had no choice but to change direction. Rewind to where this actually started. Gunther lost the Undisputed Championship match at Night of Champions and went straight after Aldis backstage, accusing him of favoritism, calling him jealous, calling him a failed wrestler. Aldis warned him twice not to put his hands on him. Gunther grabbed him by the shirt and tie anyway, and it took agents to physically pull them apart. That confrontation got both men sent home. Aldis landed on administrative leave, Adam Pearce took over both shows, and Gunther walked away from round 1 without a single consequence attached to his own name. When Aldis returned to SmackDown, he did something almost nobody in his position does. He stood in front of the entire audience and took full responsibility for letting that first confrontation get physical, before officially getting reinstated as general manager. Gunther never offered anything close to that kind of accountability. Instead, when Aldis refused to hand him the exact title match he demanded, Gunther attacked him in the ring, using the same rear-naked choke he's used to finish the careers of legends like John Cena. Officials pulled him off once. He broke free and reapplied it. Again and again, 4 times total, until Aldis was completely unconscious and Cody Rhodes had to sprint out just to chase Gunther away. That's not a random hold picked in the heat of the moment. Gunther chose the exact move tied to ending a legend's career, and used it specifically on the man running SmackDown. If you want every update the moment this match gets officially confirmed, tap subscribe. I'm tracking this story closely. Here's where speculation turns into something much more concrete. According to a Cage-A-Side Seats rumor roundup citing Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Gunther vs. Nick Aldis is already being planned as one of over a dozen matches WWE is building towards SummerSlam weekend in Minneapolis. Separately, TRNBCKL has reported the match is already lined up backstage, even before any official on-screen announcement. Meltzer himself didn't hedge on this. He stated directly that he believes they're going to wrestle at SummerSlam, and pointed out WWE has long shown interest in getting Aldis into the ring given his physical background. This is the part that should genuinely concern Gunther. Aldis isn't some suit who talked his way into a wrestling company. He's a former NWA World Champion and a former TNA World Champion, someone who held major world titles for a combined total of well over 1,000 days before he ever put on a tie for WWE. He hasn't competed since October 2023, months before he signed with the company, which means this would reportedly be his first official WWE match. Gunther spent this entire year building a reputation as the ring general, the career killer, a man who's personally ended the careers of names like Jimmy Uso, John Cena, and AJ Styles. Every one of those victims walked in, already worn down by years in the business. Aldis is walking in fresh, rested, and with a legitimate championship pedigree Gunther's never actually had to face directly in the ring. This has already shown up in sportsbooks, with Gunther listed as the heavy favorite to win. That alone tells you how seriously this is being treated behind the scenes. Betting markets don't typically set odds on matches that are purely fan speculation. They only get listed once a company's actually committed to putting them together. Meltzer did add some nuance worth mentioning. While he's confident the match is happening, he's also said he hopes it stays a one-time thing rather than turning into a regular in-ring role for Aldis at this stage of his career. That tells you WWE likely isn't planning to turn him into a full-time competitor. This looks like a single, personal, story-driven collision, exactly the kind of match that carries real weight because it's not part of anybody's long-term wrestling schedule. It's revenge, plain and simple. Think about what happens if Aldis actually pulls this off. Gunther's entire aura this year has been built on being unstoppable, on ending careers instead of starting rivalries. If a former world champion who hasn't wrestled in nearly 3 years walks in, survives the exact hold that finished Cena, and beats him anyway, that doesn't just dent Gunther's win column. It completely undercuts the mythology he spent months building around himself. So no, nothing's been officially confirmed by WWE yet. But between Meltzer's reporting, the backstage plans already reportedly in motion, and the betting odds already circulating, this looks like it's happening. Gunther spent weeks proving he's dangerous against defenseless opponents. He's about to find out what happens against someone who's actually held real championship gold. Do you think Aldis pulls off the win, or does Gunther add one more name to his list? Tell me your prediction in the comments. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.